Welcome back to Disturbed Reality. Today's video covers a topic in which many of you have asked for, a video in which many people say is the worst ISIS content available online, that being the human slaughterhouse, also known as the Eid Al Adha massacre. The video depicts the brutal execution of 15 men. The graphic video was released on the 12th of September 2016, which was the first day of the Islamic holiday Eid Al Adha, a 4-day holiday in which millions of Muslims worldwide celebrate every year. The celebrations are also referred to as the Feast of the Sacrifice. It honours the willingness of Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to Allah's command. Before Ibrahim could sacrifice his son, however, God provided him with a lamb which he was supposed to kill in his son's place. In commemoration of this intervention, animals are ritually slaughtered. 1/3 of their meat is consumed by the family which offers the animal, while the rest of the meat is distributed to the poor and needy. Sweets and gifts are also given on this day, and families get together to celebrate the festivities. So all in all, a pretty wholesome holiday where communities come together, celebrate, and look out for those who are less fortunate. But ISIS being ISIS, they deemed it appropriate to use this sacred holiday as a way to spread and share their twisted and warped worldviews. The gruesome video was filmed in a slaughterhouse in Deir ez-Zor in northeastern Syria, situated on the border with Iraq. To my understanding, there are two separate versions of this video, one being just over 4 minutes, which shows all of the killings, and one being 12 minutes, which shows the killings as well as a boatload of propaganda. Essentially, the 12-minute version just gives you a little more context. While this video is referred to as the human slaughterhouse, the actual official title, going by ISIS, is the Making of Illusion. The 12-minute version of the video, aside from showing the killings, also shows footage of prominent Western politicians such as former British Prime Minister David Cameron. The video also includes a montage of popular Western movies such as Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. Supposedly intended to represent spy activity, ISIS used this montage to mock foreign intelligence services. Photos of the Eiffel Tower in Paris are also shown, along with images from the aftermath of the Nice terror attack in July 2016, in which an ISIS-inspired fanatic driving a truck murdered 86 people who were celebrating Bastille Day. So the propaganda segment of this video essentially was a giant middle finger to the Western intelligence agencies. The 15 men who were murdered in the video were accused of spying on behalf of an international alliance led by the United States. In particular, the men were accused of filming ISIS offices, although this hasn't been acknowledged by Western intelligence agencies. In regards to backstory, that's pretty much it in regards to this gruesome video. But nevertheless, what transpires in said video? The gore segment of the video is around 4.5 minutes long. It opens up showing the capture of some of the men executed in the video. It shows the men being apprehended, handcuffed, and thrown into the back of pickup trucks. This segment also shows a short scene of one of the captives being interrogated in a dark room by an ISIS member. The video then skips forwards and we see the setting for the executions, a large slaughterhouse with meat hooks dangling from the ceiling. The captives are then ushered into the building, essentially herded like cattle to go to the corner of the room. The handcuffed captives are huddled in the corner. The handcuffed captives huddle in the corner. An ISIS member wearing all white approaches them, selecting his first victim, and it's almost like he's playing a game. He lifts up one guy by the head, puts him back down, repeats the process a couple of times until he's picked his first victim. It's almost like he's playing a sick game of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The first victim is dragged away from the group and laid down next to a blood drain in the slaughterhouse. Immediately, one of the ISIS members takes a razor-sharp knife and slashes the captive's throat. He's then hosed down by water as the blood drains. The camera is fixated on him for a while, and despite the loud music in the background, you can still hear the victim gasping for breath. It has to be said, these executions are filmed in HD, which makes the visceral nature even worse. Eventually, the first victim passes away, and once he's dead, he is then hung by the feet on a meat hook so that the blood can drain from his body. Once the first execution has taken place, the video then basically shows a montage of several men getting the same treatment, having their throats slashed and being left to bleed out. Many graphic close-up shots were shown during this segment, including one shot where they actually had a camera in the drain so that you could see the blood flow and drain away. You also hear more sounds of the executions during this segment as there's no music in the background. It's still heavily edited, but you can hear the groans and gasps of pain. As the video progresses, you then see two men get hung by their feet. However, unlike the other men, these men hadn't been executed yet. The camera then shows a close-up of one of the victims' face, and he looks resigned to his fate. Two ISIS members then, in perfect synchronization, slash the throats of the two hanging men. Once again, the camera pans to the two victims' faces, and you see them bleed out. At this point, you truly see the reality of what has transpired. The slaughterhouse floors are covered with blood, and you see 14 bodies hung by their feet on meat hooks like cattle. However, there is still one victim remaining at this point. The victim kneels beside the knife-wielding executioner. The executioner reads out a brief statement, all while the camera is panned on the victim. The victim is crying and shaking as the reality of his fate is setting in. Once the statement has been read out, the victim is laid to the ground and has his throat slashed like the other 14 men. But the victim in the final execution showed a lot more struggle as he was having his throat slashed. His legs were flailing around in a last-ditch attempt to get away from the executioner. The victim is then left to bleed out. The video then shows the final execution again with various different edits, fast forward, rewind, slow motion, etc. The final body is then dragged away in a theatrical nature, and the video ends. It is worth noting, like all other ISIS videos that I've seen, the production value, the editing, etc. is extremely high level. They show various different camera angles, different filters, it's filmed in clear HD. They essentially film these executions in a cinematographic style. Quite frankly, I've never really understood the reasoning for that. I mean, I know it's not ISIS, but if you go back to the days of the Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, these sort of videos were basically filmed in a low quality manner, similar to cartel videos, and they were released online to send a specific message. I do wonder whether the editing style and how ISIS glamorized these clips is to essentially try to encourage new recruits and new members to join their ranks. It's almost like they are trying to make these disgusting videos look sexy. It's really strange. In fact, many people over the years have speculated that the way these videos are edited actually takes the authenticity away from these executions, leading people to believe that none of these executions are actually real. The first time I heard this narrative was during the Jihadi John saga, the Kuwaiti British militant who beheaded several people in Syria from 2014 to 2015. In fact, at the time, the authenticity of the videos was even discussed in mainstream media. An unnamed forensics expert commissioned by The Times to look into the James Foley video said, "I think it has been staged. My feeling is that the murder may have happened after the camera was stopped." The Times concluded that nobody is questioning the photojournalist James Foley was beheaded, but camera trickery and slick post-production techniques appear to have been used. Two unnamed video specialists in the International Business Times of Australia claimed that portions of the video appeared to be staged and edited. Dr. James Alvarez, a British-American hostage negotiator, also claimed that the James Foley video was expertly staged, with the use of 2 separate cameras and a clip-on microphone attached to Foley's orange jumpsuit. Also, Jeff Smith, the Associate Director of the CU Denver National Center for Media Forensics, said, "What's most interesting is that the beheadings that takes place in the videos are staged." So, to summarise, there are many people out there who do question the legitimacy of the actual videos themselves. They're not saying that the victims weren't murdered, more so that they are just questioning the nature of these videos. And quite frankly, when you watch these videos, it does make you second guess them. But I guess that is just semantics, because the reality is, these men did indeed lose their lives. They were brutally murdered due to an extremist group's warped world ideology. And that is the most important fact here. So yeah, regardless of all of that, regardless of the editing, the videos are still extremely graphic, not nice to look at, and as always, I wouldn't recommend that you guys search these videos out. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, if you can enjoy this sort of content. Quite frankly, I think this will be my last ISIS video for a little while. While the cases are extremely sad, the backstory behind them is few and far in between. Once you've done one, you've done them all really, in that sense. So more than likely I won't be doing many more ISIS videos on this channel. Again, if people want it enough, I will, but we shall see. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for all of the encouragement that you've given me in the past few months. This channel has gone from strength to strength, and I'll do my best to stream more in the future. I really enjoyed the last stream I did, playing Outlast, just having a good time. So yeah, I expect to do some more streams in the future. I'm not going to overdo it, but you know, now and again, the odd live stream here and there to spice things up. But I'll keep you posted on that. And yeah, as always, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.